And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse my voice. I inhaled some toxic fumes the other day, and luckily no permanent damage was done. However, my voice is going to be jacked up for a while. But, nonetheless, the show must go on. Today I figured I'd add some diversity to my channel by giving my initial, spoiler-free impression of Far Cry 5. As the years have gone on, Ubisoft, has been willing to take some risk with Far Cry. It seems to be the only series they really will play around with and let their creativity shine. This creativity is what led us down the path to Far Cry Primal, which, as fans will know, I have always been outspokenly negative about. But only because Primal is not Far Cry. Make a new game or give us more of the same, not some animal-talking shaman and some weirdo collecting human ears. I mean the entire... but I digress. Far Cry fans rejoice because the series we all know and love has returned, and fairly strong, may I add. The newest iteration of Far Cry sees us take on a cult in the middle of fictional Hope County, Montana. Which brings me to my first point, the setting. Hope County, Montana serves as the highlight for this game's praises. The game is gorgeous. Not the most visually stunning game I have ever seen, but certainly above average as far as graphical quality goes. The lush, dense forests of rural Montana are replicated to a delightfully accurate detail. The water of the lakes and streams is pretty. And the rock sides, caves, and lakeside areas are all rendered to perfection. Overall, exploring this world feels legitimate, as subtle, nuanced changes can be detected whilst proceeding through the massive open world. Your character, unnamed and referred to as the Deputy, is, for the first time I can remember, in a Far Cry game, capable of being male or female, and comes with a somewhat lacking array of customizables. You have your pick of different hair, outfits, gloves, but the choices feel somewhat limited and don't really fit the whole feeling of reckless excess the series seems to be about. In terms of wildlife, within the first hour of playing, I've been mauled by a wolverine, sprayed by a skunk, spooked by wolves, caught a fish, of which there are many, and hunted for some deer. So, suffice to say, there's no lack of wildlife in the game. Which brings me to my next point, the NPCs. Yeah, I mean, in Far Cry, it's always sort of felt like you were one man versus the world, but in this game, the hired gun system really takes some of the stress off of you. For the most part, the hired guns are somewhat capable and useful in battle, and it's always nice to feel like you have someone looking out for you and having your back. The characters you meet have pretty good personalities. I'm not really going to praise anyone in this game because, as with most Far Cry games, and this one is no exception, the story is lost in a fury of bullets and explosions. The story serves its purpose as I care enough to understand what is advancing the plot, but it's not moving the earth here. The overhype about a religious cult was blown way out of proportion and was probably done intentionally to help generate talk about the game. The end result is a game that feels very much, well, a game rather than any type of controversial satire of the current world. As it should be. I mean, come on people. Gamers know the difference between a digital world and the real world. We all figured it out when we started paying taxes. As far as the game mechanics go, this is where I became slightly disappointed with Far Cry 5. Let's break it down. The main problem I have with this game is you are an established AAA title. You have accrued a well-deserved, mind you, bad reputation, and you have a chance to step up to the plate and hand us a masterpiece. Why in the world are there invincibility frames in this game? Why can I not shoot this guy when he's drowning a civilian? Why is there a lack of feedback when I shoot someone every now and again? Why are the physics either non-existent or overzealously overdone. There's a slight lack of polish that doesn't ruin the game, but it disappoints me enough that I can't let it slide. Why is GTA 5 the highest grossing piece of entertainment ever? Polish. Some parts of this game feel rushed, and that is a major pet peeve of mine. If you release a game, you are saying it is finished and appropriate for consumption by fans. That means it is everything it could be. This is not your best work, Ubisoft, and don't think fans will just look the other way on these issues. And hold up, Ubi. Hold up. I am playing your game, and your weapon wheel doesn't even freaking work? No, I'm serious. At least on the PC, my weapon wheel will not let me select different explosives or melee weapons. Are you joking right now? How the hell does it work on PS4 or Xbox? Do you just say, screw it, you will only throw grenades, it's awesome? I had to go through Steam and find a new configuration to play with a gamepad so I could work around the weapon wheel BS.
Hello, Clevr. What kind of blood plays a PC FPS with a gamepad? You should...
Shut it! It's my business what I want to play with, and if I'm sitting my ass down and paying $60 for a freaking game that totes controller support, you better damn well have controller support. I shouldn't have to search for back alley configurations to fix your broken mess. It should be complete and tested 100 times over. Some days, I want to lean back and play holding a controller. Some days, I'm not concerned about being deadly accurate using mouse and keyboard.
Don't make it an option if it's broke, Ubi!
Sorry that I'm passionate about this, because I saw the potential for a top 3 game ever here with this. That is, until I stepped into a vehicle and oh my god, where are we going? Thank goodness they have an auto drive function, because I can't for the life of me control any vehicle in the game. In fact, for once I think the easiest thing to pilot is a chopper, and when the hell does that happen? I managed to get cars and trucks wedged in between trees and rocks with no way of getting out, and even had to redo a mission because of this. Now, some of this is user error, and some of this is cars in real life don't drive like a sumo running on ice. Boats are slightly better than cars, but not by a drastic amount. Hey, I just finished this mission. That's cool, I'ma just drive back to the base, and wait. Are you kidding me? I failed a mission I had already completed because I left the mission area before the hillbilly was done talking to me?
It's enough to get me to the boiling point!
Ah! Okay, it's not all that bad. The stealth in this game is pretty darn good. And there are times I feel like I'm playing Splinter Cell, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sure, I can run in guns blazing, but sometimes I like to use tactics and dissect my enemy like a frog in chemistry. Biology, whatever! The AI is smart, but not really unfair, and sometimes you can use exploits in the terrain to make freeing strongholds a very easy process. I'd like to see some type of fix around this. Which brings me to the series' famous strongholds. You have to liberate zones controlled by cult members just as you would in older Far Cry games, but something about doing it in this game feels familiar in a repetitive, not so great kind of way. For me, it's always scout the area, locate the towers, take out the preliminary defense, and cleanse the area. It's formulaic, and while each outpost varies slightly, at the end of the day, the missions do tend to bleed into each other. And Far Cry becomes what it always was and likely will be for me. A fun time dump where I don't have to be emotionally invested, but can enjoy a variety of pleasant sceneries and challenges when I have some free time. Oh, and don't sleep on the OST. This may be the best soundtrack of any game since The Witcher 3, and that's saying something, guys. Overall, if I was still a professional game reviewer, here are my scores that I would have rated it. I believe this is a strong C+, weak B- type of game, with plenty of good things to offer fans of the series and newcomers. There are far worse FPSs, and you would do well to give this game a look-see and find out if it's up your alley. Oh wait, I didn't mention co-op, I didn't bring up the arcade, or the level editor. I left out lots of delicious details. Oh, people are gonna be mad. Oh, people are gonna rip me a new one in the comments. Oh, fear not, crew. Myself and Bubba, Mr. Calzone, Mudjug, whatever you want to call him, will be doing a co-op exploration of this game. Expect a lot of nonsense, death, and a whole lot of lack of skill on my part. With that, I bid you adieu, a fond farewell until we meet again in the next video. Bye-bye!